Vamos, brothers and sisters, it's your boy JT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Stories. And I'm just loving sitting here talking with my boys as Leeds sit there collecting and swooping in those 3 points. First of all, let's slow it down a little bit. How are you doing? You sat there behind the screen. Maybe you've got a coffee with you right now. Maybe you got some food with you right now. How are you? Let me know down in that comment section down below. How's your day going? How is it going? Hopefully it will be going a lot better tonight or tomorrow, depending on whenever you're watching this, after Leeds get a crushing victory against Wolves and finally, maybe, just maybe, get a little cup run going. Hey boys, maybe we do. Maybe it is time for us to get a little cup run going. But the big question really, and I do want to just jump straight into it, no foreplay, no mucking about, let's get straight into the meat of the action. Do we make changes? What changes do we make? And how many do we make? We got a massive game this weekend, Tottenham Hotspur. We're going to absolutely slap them, clap them, and on them. But before we do get into that, obviously we have to deal with the first issue, which is Wolves. And obviously Leeds' injury list is starting to rack up again, so it is time to potentially think about using that deep squad that we did acquire over the summer. Stuart Dallas is already out till after the World Cup. Sinistera's out. Bamford is, I don't know if he's ever going to be fit again for Leeds. Adam Forshaw's out. He's probably going to be gone in January as well. Archie Gray is still out as well. Archie Gray is someone who I would have potentially thrown in this game as well if he was fit. The one thing that I've heard a few people say is to bring Mateusz Klich in. And now I'm someone that's been talking about Mateusz Klich a lot. You know, I've been saying when Adams was out, when Rock has had a few shaky patches, I would have put him in that holding midfield role. I think it's too late for him to be putting that 3 behind the striker, because that 3 it's already made up for me. We've already got about 5 people that have to be in contention for that 3. That 3 for me has to be either Jack Harrison, Brendan Aronson, Sinistera, Sourceville, or now Willie Gnonto. So that's 5 people for that 3. And that's not even beginning to mention the likes of Sam Greenwood. Is he going to have to start playing deeper? All these other players in that formation, you're going to have to drop a couple of them. And it's looking tight with the way that Gnonto and Sourceville have been playing. When Sinistera gets back, does he go in over Aronson? Does Aronson get dropped? Does Jack Harrison get dropped? Is Jack Harrison out of the team now? We have such a mad selection headache. And I think right now against Wolves, this is the perfect time for us to capitalize on this and experiment. You know, try a few different things out so that when we do come to this selection headache in the future again after the World Cup, we have some other examples, some other options of what we could do. Also, I just looked over to the right, realized I got the hair down today, boys. What are we saying? What are we thinking about this? Do I have the L'Oreal look? Do I look like Sir Lord Tresemme III himself? How is it? How are we saying, brother? And if I hear Lord Farquaad, I'm going to come over to your house. I'm going to get the knuckle dusters out. And we're going to have a good old-fashioned fisticuffs. But back to what we were talking about before I did get distracted. I think this is the perfect time to twist things up. You know, shake it about a little bit. Do the hokey pokey and you turn around. Hey, that's what it's all about. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, Willy, Willy. Willie Gnonto, that is, of course. I'm not just sat in my bedroom screaming about Willie. Bloody hell. Now, let us get back to the meat of the action. And I think I have the solution. I think I have the solution for all the problems in terms of this selection headache, of this congestion of the players that need to play in that 3 behind the striker. And for me, it's going to sound a little bit controversial. It is going to sound potentially a little bit controversial. But I want to give Willie Gnonto a crack up front. All right? I do. I want to give Willie Gnonto a crack up front. I don't think there's much to lose. It's a cup game against Wolves. It's time to experiment. We need to save Rodrigo for the Spurs game. We don't want to overrun him. Look, worst case scenario, after 45 minutes, Rodrigo has to come in striker. We move Willie Gnonto back into the 3, and we change things up like that. But first of all, I want to give Willie Gnonto a full 90 minutes so he can get some more game time under his belt, continue to develop. Second of all, I want to give him a go in striker just to see if it works. Because if Rodrigo does get injured, then all of a sudden, if Willie Gnonto works in striker, we can put him up there. And then we can afford to play either a Brendan Aronson or a Jack Harrison on alongside Sourceville, who has made himself undroppable right now. He has, as well as Sinistera, who I think is the best of the 3 when he's on form. I really think, okay, maybe aside from Sourceville or even Willie Gnonto now, but I really do highly rate Sinistera, and I think he's gonna really transform into something when he can get a good run of games under his belt, which does kind of leave Jack Harrison and Brendan Aronson in the lurch a little bit. However, if one of them can play and Nonto can play up front and still get game time that way, that could be another option we could do. So that's why I think we gamble it like that. I think we do also potentially rest Brendan Aronson. I think Aronson could do with one. He's made more presses than anyone else in the league this year, but it was 539 or something before the last game. It's probably up to about 655 after the way he played against Bournemouth the other day. But again, most pressing player, he runs more than anyone. I think he needs some time off. I think he needs to rest his legs, and for me, I would give him a rest out of the side. I think Jack Harrison could potentially do with one. I think Jack Harrison could do with the rest as well, even though I think arguably you may drop. I'd drop him against Spurs. We'll get into that later. But just because Jack Harrison, his performances recently, they've left a little bit to be desired. He's not really taking people on. He seems like his confidence is a bit down. His energy is a bit down. And his output hasn't been great. It really hasn't been great. The biggest example of this was the set pieces. I mean, Sam Greenwood came in and he was putting in some peaches of corners there, getting a beautiful assist for Liam Cooper. I mean, how many times have we seen Jack Harrison blast a similar ball into the first man, or even Brendan Aronson blasting it into the other stand? I think they do need a little rest out of the side just to freshen things up a little bit, and I would bring Klitsch in. I do think Klitsch deserves that. I think Klitsch has been criminally underused. I'd put him in there. I'd put Sourceville next to him. I would drop Rodrigo and I'd put Harrison in there. Okay, there you go. You're seeing a bit of revision on the spot. You're seeing a bit of revision on the spot. I know Harrison hasn't been great, but he does still offer some sort of experience out there, and I would still take him off after 45 minutes. But I think going with a 3 of Somerville and Sam Greenwood on the wing, I don't think it works out very effectively. Somerville, Klitsch, and Greenwood. I think I do want a little bit more pizzazz there, and I want Jack Harrison in there. And then I'll push Somerville out to the right. In the midfield, the big change I'm going to make is I'm going to put Darko JB in there. I'm going to put JB in there. I think that would be a good move. I take Adams out. I take Adams out because Adams has had injury issues. Obviously, he is back, and he does look like he's back in some serious form, but I still don't want to risk it. We've got another game in a few days. He's got a World Cup coming up. Let's give him a little rest. Let him get fit for that Spurs game. Take him, maybe bring him on off the bench if things are looking hairy, or say we've got a couple of goal lead at halftime. Maybe you bring him in just to shore things up. But I think we can really play football against a team like Wolves. I think we're going to have a bit more time on the ball to actually play at them, to play through the middle. There's someone, last time we played them, they really like to target the width. They attack the widths, and I think that there are holes to exploit in the middle, and I think with two ball-playing midfielders like Rocker and JB, I think we could really exploit them. The big argument against Tyler Adams, I've heard a lot of people, especially my dad, says he's a square ball merchant, which is true. Sometimes he does slow the game down a little bit when he is on the ball. We can't argue that. I think off the ball, he more than makes up for it, and I think I actually really like the way dribbling on the ball that he drives forward, and he's just everywhere. I love everything about him, but sometimes you could say he does slow the attacks down a little bit, and he isn't quite the metronome figure that a Darko JB or a Mark Rocker is. So I think maybe you throw JB and Rocker in there, see what kind of tempo we can get playing, and just really try and play through Wolves. Really try and play through them. Defensively, the change I'd make, I'd put Firpo in there. And finally, I put Cock and Strike together, man. Just do it, please. Just humour me once. Humour us. I'm not even against Cooper. There's arguments to be had that he was one of our better defenders against Bournemouth. But our defence, it still looked shaky. It still looked poor. We still conceded 3 goals, whichever way you want to slice it. So please, just humour me. Humour me, and for once, put Cock and Strike together back there. I just want to see it. I think it would actually really work dynamite. Please do it. It's a cup game. At half-time, if it's not working, like you say, you've got 5 subs, you can push Strike back out to left back and bring Cooper in, or even go 3 at the back, whatever you want to do. Just please put Cock and Strike together. Give Firpo a run out. Give Ayling a run out on the right-hand side. And I think we could be in for some magic. And I think we can really play through a team like Wolves. And finally, get a good cup run, eh? Get a good cup run. It's been a bit long since we've had one of those. But let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section down below. Who are you changing? Who are you throwing in? Who are you taking out? I really want to hear it. But for now, guys, it's been your boy JT. Oh, wait. Almost forgot the scores on the doors. Which is, of course... going to be a clean sheet. If he goes with what I said, and you've got Cock, Strike, Firpo, and Ayling back there, I'm saying first clean sheet in God knows how long, probably since the Chelsea game, and it is going to be 4-0 Leeds United. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. For now, guys, I will see ya. I've had a soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.